Yo, people, how's it going? Welcome to episode 6 of SAS Football. You're here with your co-hosts, Sniper and Safu. Please like the video, comment, subscribe, all those things. Safu, how you doing?
Yeah, all good, all good. Watched my team back in the Champions League. Saw the draw after a few years. Last time we were in there was when Arteta was our captain. So it's been a while. Now he's our manager.
Yeah, so he must be having some credit in the bank if I'm
Okay,
hearing
yeah,
you
let's
correctly.
where was your team in the Champions League? What group are you all in?
We're talking about you all.
What
how many Champions Leagues do you have?
what group are you in?
How many Champions Leagues do you have?
I think I saw you and Spurs in Group L.
How many Champions Leagues do you have?
Are you talking about the past? We're talking about today. What's wrong with you?
You brought up the past. The last time Arteta was captain, you brought up
Oh,
the past.
I stated a fact that got to do it today.
Okay, anyway, how you doing? How you feeling? I see you excited for this for the Sunday kickoff against your favorite team.
Oh, favorite team. Yeah, okay. No, I'm excited because I'll tell you why I'm excited. Um, Arsenal had probably one of the worst spells, probably last maybe minus these 3 years, but 10 years. That 10 year spell where we were the banter club. United came to us, slapped us all over when they were on their peak. The 8-2. I'll never forget that day. Um, so I'm looking forward to it because I think this is finally a time where United aren't at their best, and it's time for Arsenal to make a statement. I would love nothing more than for us to go there and just slap them up. So I'm looking forward to that, and I hope that happens.
What do you how do you think like the lineup will look like? Is Harvard's gonna start? Do you think he's gonna start on the bench? Like, what are you looking to see?
Oh, this is very unpredictable. I know Zinchenko is back, so I would expect him to slot back into left back. I want to see Gabriel, Saliba, White, same as we saw last season. Um, I don't see if Partey starts at right back, it'll be tough because Partey going up against Rashford could be a field day for Rashford. We know Partey is not the best athlete. When it comes to playing right back, we've seen him be beaten for pace a few times this season already. So that's something we can't see if Partey's right back. So I don't think Arteta will go with that. I'm hoping he doesn't. And at the same time, we see United have injuries. We see Shaw's out, Varane is out. So I think Saka, regardless if it was Shaw, Dalot, or Malacia, or now they have Regulon, he might even start. So I think regardless of who Saka comes up against, I think we should be good on that side. Because we've seen what Saka can do to Shaw already last season. On the other side, I see Martinelli will probably come up against Wan-Bissaka, or I think that's the only player they have there that can play.
Yeah.
So
Wan-Bissaka is strong defensively. I mean, he has his limitations going forward, but defensively he's quite
look,
strong.
he has improved under Ten Hag. I'll give him that. But I still do see Arsenal should win this game. We at home. United aren't in the best of form. Yes, Arsenal haven't had the best performances. We have got results, but we do know what this Arsenal team is capable of. We've seen what they can do last season. We know the quality that they do have. We haven't seen like Man United's quality to the level of Arsenal in at least last season and this season so far. So I will say I do expect us to win. It will be disappointing if we don't, and I think there's more pressure on us to win too. For us being at home, I think Arsenal need to put that statement win on the in the league because we expecting Arsenal to challenge for the title this season, and I think this can kickstart their campaign. Having a statement win against one of the top 6 sides will just put it out there that we're not here to mess around and we
I
actually want to be up there again.
I don't agree. I think there's more on the line if Arsenal lose this weekend, whereas if Arsenal win. I think if Arsenal win, it's like it's expected. You're at the Emirates, you'll finish second. We expect you all to challenge the season. I think it's not a statement win. I think A statement win is if you go to Anfield and you win. A statement win is if you go to the Etihad and you win, or if City come to the Emirates and you win.
I'm
I
talking.
Given the start that United have had the season, you and the expectations also coming into the season. And I mean, let's look at the injuries United have. Varane is out, Mason Mount is out, the new striker Hoyland is out, Luke Shaw is out. There's talks about Regulon coming over. We can talk about their signings as well. We can talk about what that back line will look like with Lindelof, Wan-Bissaka, Region, and the Butcher. So I think, in all honesty, I think Arsenal should have a routine win this weekend. I think there's a lot on the line if Arsenal don't come away with the 3 points. Would you agree?
I agree, but I think you misunderstood. When I meant statement win, I meant go up and hit them for 3-4. That's
Oh, okay,
statement
okay,
win.
okay. That's fair. That's fair.
I'm not
So
saying
you're showing some chest.
I'm showing chess.
You're showing
I'm
chest. Okay,
confident we're gonna win. I
showing
am
chest.
confident we're gonna win, but I need to, like, I want to see Arsenal. If we get an early goal, we can open the gates early. I think that first goal in the game is gonna be the most crucial. So I know if we get that first goal and if we get it early, it can happen. It just depends how Arteta sets up. I think in my opinion, I think Arteta should go back to basics. You have our Zinchenko, Saliba, Gabriel, White. Have our three in the middle with Odegaard, Rice Party, or even Odegaard. Have Rice or Party and play maybe Fabio Vieira, or it looks like he might stick with Havertz. I actually don't care who plays. Havertz can start, but
Right.
we need to get the win, and it'll just be the cherry on top if we can hit them for 3-4, like what they used to do to us when we were down low and in the trenches.
I agree. Last point I'll make, or last question I have for you is losing against United this weekend, is it unthinkable? Is it panic? Is it crisis? Is it Arteta get better, sort out his shit and go back to basics? I mean, assuming he starts Harvard, he plays Party at right back and he loses, is that going to cause a lot of, your fans are very reactionary,
That
as we
is going to cause a lot of havoc, but rightly so. Because we know what worked last season, how we beat them last season. Even when we lost to them at Old Trafford last season, I still do think we were the better team, and we should have actually came out with the result. At the Emirates as well, we were a better team. But we see how deadly they can be on the counter attack.
Yes.
Which is why I would be more hesitant to even start Partey at right back.
Yeah.
That could
So
be
you
tough.
can't. The 3 points are. There's no other thought that you're going to entertain apart from taking the 3 points and moving on.
No, we need the 3 points. I think if we don't get the 3 points, it wouldn't be panic and throw all my toys out the pram, but it would be I would start asking serious questions about the season, because if we expected to challenge for the title and dropping points in against Fulham at home and then United at home, it'll just make the Fulham result hurt even more than it already does if we don't get a result against United. If we do get a result against United, then the Fulham result doesn't look as bad anymore.
I agree. I agree. I think it will paper over a lot of wounds if you do come away with your statement win, as you call it, this weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anything else to touch on? Last thing I wanted to touch on, do you expect any incomings, outgoings for the transfer market before we talk about predictions for the weekend, for the game?
I do expect another defender to come in for Arsenal. We saw how we lost Tierney and Tavares, both of them obviously our left backs. I'm not sure if they're even going to play this season. We know how Arteta likes his left backs and defenders. We saw Balogun leave. So I do expect a player to come in, whether it's on loan or permanent. Doesn't matter. We do need cover though. We know we're light at the back. Because we have 6 defenders. We know Tierney, not Tierney, sorry. Timber is out with a long-term injury.
Yeah.
And we know Zinchenko and Tomiyasu have the injury problems. So I would definitely expect another left back to come in, or at least another defensive player where Arteta turns a centre back into a left back, or however you think of it.
Well, we have Kukurea waiting for you if you want to go that route.
No, that's okay. It looks like even United are not touching him. So
Well, they don't have money. They're a 1+1, 1+1 million pound loan offer for Amrabat, if I'm not
yeah,
mistaken.
I
And
saw
if they
that.
get hijacked by Fulham, there's some conversations that need to be had.
Oh,
If
that would be lovely.
that
That
will
would
be
be
lovely.
lovely.
That will be some conversations that need to be had. In all honesty, United are looking great. I mean, we touched on it already with Reguilon coming in. That midfield looks a bit under strength. The Champions League draw, I don't think it's been too kind, but I also don't think it's been too unfair towards them. I believe they got Bayern Munich, Galatasaray, and Copenhagen.
Yep.
So I think it's not an easy draw for them, but it's not
No,
the.
let's be serious. Let's be serious. On paper, them and Bayern are going
They
through.
should go through on paper. I mean,
On
United and
paper, them
Bayern.
and Bayern, they should not be losing against Copenhagen and Galatasaray.
Galatasaray have some ballers, if I'm though, but is Icardi still there or did he leave?
No, I think he's still there. But let's
Still
call
there.
a
So,
spade, man.
but
Like,
yes, they call a spade. United should be
yeah, I don't want any of this. Like,
minimum second in
yeah,
that group. Minimum second. I
I
agree.
would say the same for Arsenal. The group Arsenal have, we should be topping that group. I don't care how we do it. I don't even if
Yes,
we don't have to win every game, but I want to be top of that group.
I agree. Talking about predictions, where do you see this going? I mean, you definitely have to start with your team. You at home. Arsenal versus Man United at the Emirates on Sunday. What's your prediction for the game?
See, I think we would get goals. I think we'll have 3 goals. The only thing I'm worried about is Arsenal don't keep clean sheets at the Emirates. So I would say 3-1. I would go with 3-1. I will say one thing too. Mount is out, so I know Eriksen will probably be starting for them.
Probably deputize, yeah.
And we saw how much joy Odegaard and Saka get on that in the small spaces where Eriksen operates. So I'm hoping it's another long day for Eriksen and we find joy on that side again. So yeah, I think most of our play will come down the right hand side. Because I just think that's the weaker side for Man United. So yeah, I will go 3-1.
I believe Casemiro was suspended for last year's fixture, if I'm not mistaken, and that was the fixture your 1-3-2, right? Your score in Nketiah scored at the end.
Yes, I don't know if I can't remember if Casemiro was suspended, but I will say that Varane being out is a big miss for them.
Varane
But
out.
also Jesus out for us is just as big as a miss as Varane out for them. I would say that because I think Arsenal are a completely different side of Jesus. Yes, Nketiah has done well, but he's not Gabriel Jesus. Let's be serious.
I'm gonna go 2-1 Arsenal. I think you should come okay with the 3 points. I don't think you will keep a clean sheet. I think you'll seem a bit sloppy. I think United might get one on the counter, but I think you'll be 2-0 up at the time if they might get a consolation. So I think I'm gonna go 2-1 menu 2-1 Arsenal. Next fixture we're gonna talk about is Chelsea Forest on Saturday. Chelsea at home at the Bridge. I saw the news of Cole Palmer. I think he had a medical today. Looks like that deal is going through.
How are you feeling about that one? Was it
Yeah,
someone you had your
so
eye on, or
I mean, I'm not. I think the feeling is pretty neutral, pretty passive for this particular move. I think we both gave like Cole Palmer his plaudits in the Super Cup. He played really well. I think it was the Community Shield that he played well. And which was a goal where he curled into the far corner? Was it against Burnley on the opening game of the season?
against Arsenal in the Community Shield?
Oh, it was against Arsenal. That was the
Yeah.
one. Yes, it was against Arsenal where he curled it in. So look, we've both sat here and we've said that Cole Palmer looks like a decent prospect for the future. It could potentially be that Mahrez replacement. Do I think that he has potential? I do. I think yes, he does have potential. Am I going to get carried away and say that he's going to be the best thing on the right wing? No, I need to see more of him in the Premier League. I need to see him starting more consistently. I think I need to see him play game in, game out, and then see how he does. But in terms of the move, it does make sense. There's been talk about Sterling moving over from the right wing to the left wing, where he has been playing on the right wing, and he says he's more comfortable on the left. Chilwell has been playing as a left winger, essentially. And I think with the Nkunku injury that we saw that Poch had to play the Chilwell at left wing to compensate for, Nkunku being out. So I think with Cole Palmer, it gives us that option now that if Chilwell can move back to left back, maybe we can play four at the back, play a 4-2-3-1 or 4-3-3, and Cole Palmer can play off of the right, Sterling can play off the left. And I've even heard of talk of Cole Palmer playing as a number 10. And so I think it gives us a different level of depth. I think it gives Chelsea a different dimension. And look, he's Joe Shields' boy, you know. We trust Joe Shields. Joe Shields has uncovered the likes of Lavia. And he's one of his boys. So we give him we'll give it time. Am I expecting an instant impact where he hits the ground running? No, I don't. I expect it will take time, but I think given the form that we've seen so far in the past few games at City, I think it's exciting. It's an exciting move for him, and it's an exciting time at Chelsea right now. So the move does make sense. So let's see how it goes.
Yeah, I agree. I'm actually surprised that City decided to sell Palmer with the 3 games that he's had so far.
True.
Like we said, Community Shield, he helped them into the game. Super Cup, he scored again. So it looks like, Cole Palmer I thought he was gonna be the breakout for City this season, like how Foden broke out. I thought this was Cole Palmer's season. So I'm actually pretty shocked that they sold him.
True.
But on Chelsea's part, I think it's a good move. I don't expect him now to obviously start every game, even though actually maybe he can. If Sterling moves to the left, I see him better than Mudryk already this season. And I don't know who else do you have on the wings, because you have
Noni, Mudryk, there's that Diego Moreira.
yeah, I see Palmer has shown much more in these past few games than I've seen of any of them over the past season.
I agree.
So
I agree.
I don't see why Palmer can't start.
Palmer looks like he's ready for Premier League football, where a lot of the others don't. I don't know if they're fully ready. I mean, we saw Diego Moreira and Noni in the League Cup this week, and it seemed like that was more their level, or they were maybe a level or two above that, which would probably be not at the highest level against the highest teams in the Premier League. And I think it makes, like I said, I think it does make sense. And I'm not complaining about the move. Like, he's a young English prospect. I think he's about 19, if I'm not mistaken. So
yeah, around there.
he has a couple of years ahead of him, and who knows, he could have a ton of potential. And I think the man to unlock it could be Poch. Under the guidance of Poch, he could flourish. About the game this weekend, Forest at home. Look, I'm expecting 3 points. After
It's not gonna be easy.
It's not going to be easy, but I expect it. Like, let's be serious. Like you said, let's we need the 3 points. We need to build on the momentum that we saw at Luton. Luton was an expected win. We got the job done. 3-0, Jackson goal, off the mark, Sterling with the brace. And I expect more of the same this weekend. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be serious. It's no time for fun and games. There's no time to drop points right now. Chelsea have a couple of favorable fixtures, I would say. Although it's the Premier League, every game is a different gravy. Every game is a different test. But I expect a win. Stamford Bridge, Forest, I expect us to win. And in terms of what I expect the outcome to be, I would go a 2-0 victory. I expect a clean sheet. I expect a 2-0 victory, a comfortable 2-0 victory. And I would be disappointed with anything other than a victory. I'll be honest with you.
Do you see the same starting lineup as previous game? Do you think anything's going to change? Do you think Lavia comes in, or do you think he still goes with Gallagher, Caicedo, and Enzo?
I think he's gonna go still with Gallagher, Enzo, Caicedo. I don't think Lavia is just ready as yet. I know Colville was substituted in the week, so I don't know. Maybe Palmer comes straight in. Maybe Chilwell goes to left back, or maybe Chilwell and Martin starts. Maybe Ian Martin will start at left wing. Chilwell starts at left back. We'll see. I don't expect the midfield to change. I believe Enzo, Caicedo, Gallagher will start. Gallagher is really, really. I think if there's one player who's overperformed or outperformed, who's overachieved so far this season, I would say either him or Sterling, but Sterling has hit
No,
those.
it's Gallagher.
Sterling has hit those heights before.
Yeah.
So, we're saying that, okay, this is the Sterling of old, whereas Gallagher is just,
I mean, Gallagher at Crystal Palace did hit some heights that no one expected him to hit.
But this is a different Conor Gallagher. Like this Conor Gallagher looks fitter, he looks smarter, he looks more intelligent, and he looks technically more astute. He looks technically sound. He looks more comfortable with the ball. At Crystal Palace, they were chasing the ball most of the time. They were sitting in and then they were breaking. Here at Chelsea, we dominate possession. Chelsea have been dominating possession. They dominated against Liverpool. They had more possession against West Ham, and they dominated possession against Luton as well. And Conor Gallagher is an integral part of holding possession now. So it's a different Conor Gallagher we're seeing. We're seeing him winning his duels in midfield. We're seeing him winning the ball back high up the pitch. And we're seeing him making good passes and good runs as well. And the thing with Conor Gallagher is also, I think Conor Gallagher has an eye for goal as well, as we've seen it at Crystal Palace. And he also scored that goal for Chelsea against Palace. So he has a good, decent shot on him where he can score from outside of the box. So I'm glad Gallagher stayed. I said something very controversial a while back. I don't know if you remember. That if it came down to either Conor Gallagher or Mason Mount, I would have kept Conor Gallagher. And a lot of people said that I'm crazy. Like Conor Gallagher is just not the player you think he is. But I think Conor Gallagher has shown that he could become more of an integral part than Mason Mount at Chelsea. And look, I'm not saying he will be, but from what we're seeing so far, if he continues on this form and continues on this type of performances, I think
there's a lot of talk about Gallagher to Spurs though, so that
I hope
looks
he
like
doesn't
might
go.
happen.
And if he does go, it should be 60 M's minimum.
Yeah, I can see that happening. I saw you're also in for Mascaro, the 17-year-old Brazilian.
Yeah,
I've heard a lot of good things about him.
I'll be honest.
We'll see if he gets done though.
I'll be honest. I don't know too much about him. But this is Chelsea's new policy. This is Chelsea's new kind of strategy or model. Is now instead of signing those, like I know now they've obviously broken the transfer record, but from what we've heard is that in future, once they've closed all these financial loopholes, where you can't amortize more than 5 years and so forth, Chelsea want to sign these players, develop them before they turn into those £100 million players. But that remains.
From the outside looking in, it just looks like they're throwing money at the up and coming Brazilians and hoping one of them is the next name.
You said yourself now that this guy looks like one of the best prospects.
No. I said I've heard good things about him.
Then?
I didn't say. I mean, there's a lot of Brazilians, like that come out from the leagues and they turn out to be stars, but some of them don't make it either. So
I agree. It's a risky model. It's not. It's a risky model if you're throwing 20 million pounds at these 16, 17-year-old players and they just don't turn out to be
average at best,
quality or Premier League level. So yeah, I mean it does add up. What do you think is what's your prediction for Chelsea Forest?
Yeah, I think it should be a routine win for Chelsea. I don't think it'll be 2-0 though. I think it'll be a bit more difficult for you all. I'm actually leaning towards a draw. I was gonna lean towards 1-1, but since it's at the bridge, I would say 2-1 Chelsea. I don't think it will be the easiest game for you guys. Forest are always they're always so tactically they good. They know when to sit back and then they just hit you on the counter with our knee and probably Langa. Gibbs White is also coming into his own now, so he's looking like a good signing for them. And now they just signed Tavares too, so I don't know if he's going to start, but we know going forward, this guy can do stuff. Defensively, no, he can't defend. But if they're playing five at the back and he's playing as a wing back, he could do some damage. It will look nice if he does damage, and then they have a buy option for him, so right, for 15 million or something. So I would love to see that happen.
Yeah. No, interesting. I'm a bit we might have to have a discussion about your draw prediction. You're lucky you said 2-1. Otherwise, I was gonna fight you on that. But anyway,
You can fight me on it, but if it comes through, then you're gonna sit quietly.
yeah, well, you might have to sit quietly if it doesn't come through.
Time will tell.
I will tell. You have a bigger game this weekend, so you better focus on that one.
Yeah.
Let's go next to City. City is playing Fulham, I believe, at the Etihad. City signing Nunes, Doku, um, Fulham in for Amrabat, trying to hijack that one from United.
I think they'll only go for him though if Palinha leaves to Bayern, right?
If he does,
So
but what's the fee? Is it are Bayern prepared to pay like 70 million for
I
Palini?
I can't see them paying that much when they just signed Kane for 120.
They but
So
they, they are selling Gravenberg to Liverpool for what 40
40
million?
million, yes. So it'll be interesting. I mean, if they put another 20 on top of that 40 and get him for 60 million, then it looks like that could be a good deal. I mean, he's a bit older. He's like
He's
28, maybe
27
27.
or 28,
Yeah,
27,
so
28.
I
Yeah.
mean, he's still in his prime, but
He's prime, yes, definitely.
yeah.
Yes,
So
Arsenal last week, yeah.
no,
Yeah.
he's a very good player. I mean, we've seen it all of last season too. He was in conversations with some of the best players, and I think
Yeah.
he had like the highest tackles in the league for the whole season last season. So
If
he's
I
looking
were
like
Liverpool, I would have went for him for 70 million. I mean, instead of
they
instead
wanted
of
90 million though when Liverpool inquired. So
It's
I don't know. I
true.
think a 90 million is a bit steep for him.
That's very steep.
But then again, the market is just so bad with all these, center mids. We saw it with Rice, Caicedo, Lavia. It's a
Do
it's a very
you
inflated market.
do you think we'll see Doku starting this weekend or being
No,
getting some game time this weekend?
I think he'll get some game time maybe off the bench, but I don't see him starting. Also on the Nunes signing, I'm not sure what you make of the signing, but it looks like Pep's midfield from what he used to want and what he has now is very different.
Completely different.
Like we know he like more of those technical ability players. Keep the ball close, tidy, control, and now he has Kovacic, Rodri, Nunes. These look like pace and power midfields. Like
Yeah,
more powerful,
they
more.
look. I actually thought of that after the Nunes signing was announced. Is that he's going a completely different direction. He had more like the Gundogan's,
Mhm.
the David
Bernardo
Silva,
Silva's, David
Bernardo
Silva,
Silva, smaller magician type of players.
exactly.
Whereas now he has players that can carry the ball, run with the ball, pace and power, like you said. So it's interesting. If are we going to see something different from Pep, like a change in his tactics?
I wouldn't be surprised,
Are we,
at the end
you
of the
know,
day, he's always changing his tactics and players, and he pulls out the weirdest formations and tactics, and they somehow pay off. He inverted a center back last year, and he won a treble. So who are we to question any of the
Yeah,
decisions
no,
he
of
makes?
course. At the end of the day, we're not City fans, but we're football fans, and I'm just glad that this is happening in the Premier League, in one of the most in the most entertaining league in the world, the biggest league in the world.
Hmm.
And it's happening in our lifetime where we get to see this, evolution and revolution from Pep. So I'm excited to see what he brings. I just hope it's not too much for the other teams to try to bridge that gap. We all need to win titles as well. I'm sure you must be you
Starving.
must
I'm
yeah
starving is the
you
word.
must be starving. I mean, I have a Champions League that keeps me warm at night from time to time, but even it's running out. so
Yeah, my nights are cold.
You're not having goal. I mean, you've been like you said, your manager was captain the last time you touched the Champions League or had a sniff of of those weeknights. But I'll miss it this season. So we in our rebuilding phase. What is your prediction for the Fulham City game this weekend?
Uh, it's at the Etihad, right?
I believe it is at the Etihad. Yes.
Yeah, I think City will make light work of it. They should do what Arsenal should have done. I think it'll be, I think 3-0 City.
3-0 City. Yeah, I think Fulham are gonna sit back, similar to what they did against Arsenal. But I still don't think it will be too much. City will be too powerful for them. I'm looking at 2-0 City. Um,
I can see that.
Next game I'd like to talk about is the Liverpool Villa game. So Liverpool coming after the snatch and grab victory against Newcastle. Liverpool at Anfield against a very rejuvenated Villa. I think I saw a stat that since Unai Emery took over Villa, he's had the second most points, I believe.
The second or
Uh,
third, yeah. I know it
Second
was,
or third.
I think it's like on 49 points or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so Unai Emery is doing a wonder job. Looks like Langley is finalized to join Villa as well. Looks like he'll be a replacement for Mings. Mings out for the foreseeable future, I believe. Musa Diaby looks like a proper baller.
Yeah.
Watkins looks like he's just getting stronger. That midfield of Douglas Luiz and John McGinn looks pretty strong as well. Paul Torres, I think he's quality. Matty Cash bombing forward the Villa team just looks like they have a strategy.
It looks like they're up for it this season.
They look like they very much so up for it this season. I believe they are in the Europa League as well this season, and we know
Yep.
that's Unai's
Yes.
competition. So it's an exciting season for Villa this season. But Liverpool, let's go back to Liverpool. Looks like they're about to finalize the Gravenberg signing. What do you make of that signing?
Look, I think when Grafenberg was at Ajax, it looks like a lot of teams wanted him. He had 1 year left on his deal. He eventually ended up going to Bayern for 18 million. And then he didn't play or barely played any minutes for a season.
Yeah.
And then Bayern sell him for 40 million. So fair play to Bayern. I don't know how they increased his value without him even stepping on a
I
pitch.
think it's desperation. It's end of the window. The prices are inflated by 30-40%. So and he's young, there's that
I
potential that
agree.
he's young. Yeah.
But on like as a player, I don't think I've seen enough of him to make a comment.
What does he do? Like I haven't seen enough of him as well. Is he more of an attack minded number 10, or is he a number 8?
I thought he was more of a number 8. But then again, Liverpool need like a 6, someone to get stuck into tackles and stuff. And from
I don't think
from what
yeah.
I've seen of Gravenberg at Ajax, I don't think he's that person.
Oh,
He's
but he
he
could
seems
be a
more like a
box to
person.
box though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So I mean, we'll see what Klopp does. Maybe he can play that role. Maybe he has played it before. I wouldn't say this is a exciting signing, but I also wouldn't say it's an underwhelming signing. I think this is one we have to just wait and see, and see how it turns out. You can't really judge it right now.
But I do think that I think it's we can't judge it right now, but we know Jurgen Klopp develops players. We know he develops young players. And I think if this is a player that Jurgen Klopp has identified, then he could turn him into a quality player in the Premier League. We
No,
have seen
100% he can.
we have
I
seen it
agree.
before.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, he can. Also going back to the game, we know there's no Van Dijk for the game, right? He's suspended.
No Van
So
Dijk. Do you think Nunes will start?
I think he should start.
Should.
I think
Yes.
he definitely should start. It'll be very weird if he doesn't start. I think he's like beaming with confidence right now, so
I
he
agree.
should be on the team sheet. If he doesn't start, he'll probably start Gakpo or Jota over him. Because I see Salah and Diaz on the wings, and then it's between Gakpo, Jota, and Nunes up front.
Speaking
Uh,
about Salah, since you brought it up, do you think Salah will leave before the window ends?
I don't think he will. If I was
In
Liverpool, I would
Saudi
sell him.
Arabia, the Saudi Arabian window ends only in 2 weeks. So there's time for it to leave.
After the Premier League window ends, there's no way Liverpool will sell Salah because they can't
What
get
if
a
it, what if
replacement.
what if they give them 150 million? You still think no?
I don't think they can. I mean, if I was in Liverpool's shoes, he's 31 years old. We know he's on, like, obviously on the decline. I'm not
Mm.
saying he's not good. Don't get me wrong.
No,
He is
his
on the
decline is
decline.
still 20, 25 goals a season in the league.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't think even if they sell him, they can replace that without signing someone.
Right.
But I don't think they're gonna get this money again for him.
Mm.
Next season they might get, if they can get 100
100.
million next season for him again, then I think it's worth keeping because I don't think even if they're losing on that 50 million, there's no 50 million player on the market that
Mm.
can come in and do what Salah does.
Mm.
So if you are selling, I would say I can see him going next season, but I can't see him going this season.
Mm. Yeah, I agree with that. I think Liverpool be would really struggle if they sold Salah now and not have a replacement lined up in the next before the window closes. I think there's like maybe 24 hours before the window closes,
Yeah, maybe even less.
maybe even less. What are your predictions? Versus Villa at Enfield. No Van Dijk. Questions about whether Nunes starts. We know Villa on fire. Um, what do you think? Or you want me
I'm
to?
actually I'm actually gonna go for 2-2. Yeah.
Oh,
I
okay,
think
that's a bold prediction.
that is I just think that midfield of Villa will be too strong. And I think we saw what Newcastle could do to Villa. I mean what Newcastle could do to Liverpool last week. Even with the 11 men on the field. I think Villa, if they come out, this is a very bold prediction. But I think Villa just have a strong team and they're full of confidence right now. But like you said, Una Emery is building something great there, and I just think everyone knows their role. I think Diaby and Watkins are going to be they'll be more clinical up front and take their chances. Um, so I just see if they're able to break down Liverpool, because Liverpool without Van Dijk don't have the best defense, they don't have the best midfield, so they gotta go. The only way Liverpool win is by outscoring Villa, but
Yeah.
I just see a draw.
I see a high scoring game. I think Villa will be solid. I do think Villa will be a lot more clinical than Newcastle. But I think Liverpool's attack may be too strong for Villa. So I'm gonna go 3-2 Liverpool. But I would love it if Villa come away with a result. If they draw this game or if Villa come away with 3 points, I will love it. I will absolutely love it.
I
And
agree. I
Liverpool
think
fans are talking about they're gonna challenge for the league this season after the 2-1 win. I don't know if I saw the same game they saw, but I saw them being dominated for 80 minutes of the game and they came to life in the last 10 minutes. You
Yeah,
know?
no, I agree. I think if Liverpool don't get a result against Villa, it makes that Newcastle result a bit less,
It
like
does.
the the importance of it is much less,
I
or how
agree.
it happened.
I,
But if they do get a result against Villa, I mean, you can say, okay, Liverpool are maybe starting to show some quality and start challenging again. I still don't think they'll be in the
they,
titles, but I think
mm,
they will be up there.
they will be up there in the top four, top five Champions League spots for sure. Yeah, they look. If they do beat Villa, they will look like they're depending. I mean, this weekend, every weekend there's fixtures that says that we can then we learn every time there's fixtures, there's a round of fixtures. We learn more about the teams and how far they are in the season. And I think obviously City are ahead.
Yeah, I
Uh,
mean, no
they,
matter what results City get for the next 10 games, we know City can come back and win the next 23 games of
that's
the
true. But
season. So,
imagine they start with winning 10 games and then you
oh
know
no,
then
as
it's a
long as they
different
don't go invincible, then I'm okay.
then it's a different juggernaut. But yeah, so last game I want to touch on is the Spurs versus Burnley game. I believe it's at Burnley. Um, Spurs coming off a defeat in the League Cup in the midweek. Looks like it's going to be another trophyless drought season for Spurs this season. We've been giving them so much plaudits over the last 2, 3 weeks with the
Spursy,
performance
isn't it?
they had. But they just can't help themselves, can they? It's just the most Spursy thing that that
Just when you try and be
just
like good to Spurs, you know, like
and then Spurs fans getting guessed with the Ansu Fati links only for him to sign for Brighton, and Spurs they just do it to themselves
it's
sometimes.
the gift that keeps on giving.
It's the gift that you're giving, man. I don't know how Spurs fans aren't on blood pressure medication or I
I mean,
so
why would they need to be on those medication? You know, they haven't won a trophy in their life. So, I
yeah,
mean,
but it's the hope that kills. It's the
yeah,
hope.
but they should be used to it by now. I
I
mean,
mean, but everyone were getting gassed. Even we were getting gassed with the start that they have had. I mean,
we weren't getting gas. We're giving them the credit which they
we give them
deserve.
plaudits.
But
I guess so. Yeah,
yes, but I
plaudits.
will say for the League Cup result, that one's on Ange for me. I think you got it all wrong. You don't make 9 changes against Fulham away when you just saw them come off a great result against Arsenal. They have full of confidence. And then for him to make 9 changes, we have an international break within a week's time. Why didn't he just play his players? I
Hmm.
understand making maybe 3 or 4, maybe resting Madison because Madison was injured. You know, he needs a break. Um, but I don't know why he needed to make the 9 changes. That just seemed like overkill to me. So for me, that results on him, and he needs to learn from that. But I'm glad they're out. I don't want to see them win a trophy. So
Course they're out. I mean, I don't know if they'll win the FA Cup. The FA Cup is a tough ask to win. Teams play their first teams, and it gets really serious towards the end of the competitions. The bigger teams take it seriously. Like City take it seriously. I'm sure Arsenal will take it seriously. Man United will take it
yeah,
seriously. And I'm pretty sure Poch will take it seriously. He said he wants to win all the trophies. So, um, yeah, I think you're spot on. I think Ange got it wrong. Um, I think it was a learning lesson for him. It's a learning curve for him. I think he'll want to make a statement this weekend in the league. Burnley played two, lost two. I mean, got a drubbing against City, and who they lose to in the second game? I'm
wasn't it Villa? Was it Villa?
it was Villa. They got a spanking from Villa, I believe. I think it was, what is it, 3 or 4-1.
Yeah.
Yes, the South African kid scored the consolation goal.
Yes.
Yeah,
Lyle Foster.
Lyle Foster. Um, so yeah, I think Burnley played two, lost two. Um,
I
I
don't I
don't,
don't think it gets easier for Burnley.
I don't think it gets easier for Burnley, but I mean, Burnley, we gave company his plaudits, I believe, a couple of weeks back. Bringing Burnley up at the first time, first time on asking in Championship, and
Yeah.
he's playing a similar style of football that he played in the Championship that was obviously so successful. Obviously, the level in the Premier League is so much higher. Um, I think it's Spurs games to lose this weekend. I'll be honest. I think it's, Spurs, if they show up, assuming the League Cup was a blip and the Spurs from the league we see, I think it's Spurs game to lose. I expect Madison to be on fire. Um, I wouldn't go as far to say I'll see a goal from Richarlison because I wouldn't go that far, but I expect Basuma, I expect Papasa, Udogi to really put up a high quality performance. And I expect Spurs to win. I think if Spurs lose or if Spurs don't pick up the 3 points, I think it's disappointing for a Spurs fan. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I agree. I think Spurs have to win this game. Especially since we talked about them going out of the League Cup and resting the players. Now they have to perform, right? If he rested them for nothing, he just looks like more of a fool for not playing them. So I do expect them to come out full blast. I do expect Spurs to win. Um, it's not going to be easy. Turf Moor is not an easy place to go to. We know that. So I will say that I want to see something from Richarlison. Look, he hasn't had the best of starts of the season or best of time in a Spurs kit. But I will say we know there is a player in there, whether we see it or not. But he can't keep on going under the radar like this. If he doesn't perform, I think there's going to be some serious questions that need to be asked of him because I see Spurs defense, which is good. Their midfield, we've spoken about it. Papasa and Basuma looking really good in the midfield, but it's just their attack. And the thing is that they don't have bad players on paper. If you're looking on paper, Kulusevski was talked about really highly,
He was.
maybe a year or two ago. Son was deemed as world class, and Richarlison at Everton, they signed him for 60 million. We saw what he can do in the World Cup. So on paper, it looks like a good attack, but either it's maybe the manager's tactics or they're just not gelling together. But I think Spurs really need to find a way to fix that attack if they want to win something this season or challenge for something this season.
I agree. I agree with that. What's your prediction for the game?
I'll say 2-1 Spurs. I just don't see them scoring 3 goals, so I'll go 2-1.
You said 3-1 or 2-1?
2-1, 2-1.
I'll go 3-1 Spurs. I think Spurs will score 3. I think Big Ange is gonna make a statement after losing in the League Cup, and I think they'll win 3-1. I think they'll beat Burnley. I don't think it's gonna get easier for Burnley. I think Burnley are gonna struggle. As company is finding out. Last thing I want to touch on before we wrap up the show is the Newcastle Champions League draw, the group.
Oh
Newcastle, PSG, AC Milan,
Dortmund
and Dortmund. Couldn't have asked for a harder group, Newcastle, on their return to the Champions League. I don't even know how many years it's been. Is it like 25 years, 30
I
years?
have no idea.
So
It's been a while.
It's been a while. Let's start by saying, do you think they have a chance of advancing to the round of 16?
As crazy as it sounds, I think they do. I think they can pull up some upsets, especially against Dortmund and AC Milan. I know when Dortmund and AC Milan coming to St. James Park, I know they can win those ones. They just have to be up for it. And to a certain to a certain degree, I think PSG coming to St. James Park is not going to be easy for them. St. James crowd gets they get up for the games. They're loud, and I think it'll be a shock to some of the teams when they actually see that crowd and actually go there. So I think the home games they can do really well, and then try and get any result away from home, whether it's a draw or snatch and grab a win from somewhere. So I think they do have a chance, but I will also say there's no pressure on them to get out the groups. No one's expecting them to get out the groups, so that can also play in their favor. When it comes to that, so I can see them getting out the groups. Do I think they will? No, but it's possible.
So you're predicting that they won't get out of the groups, but you're saying there's a chance that they do.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that I agree with you on the home turf aspect. I think it's going to be very important if they are to get out the groups that they do get the results at home. I think it's an exciting time. Like we're going to see Mbappe at St. James Park. Dortmund also don't look like no pushovers this season. They look like they're playing some good football this season. AC Milan have some, I'm excited to see Christian Pulisic,
Rafael Leao,
Loftus-Cheek coming back. AC Milan I have a very, very exciting team. Like, yes, you said Leao. They've got a very exciting team. They've got a great goalkeeper as well. So I think Milan are going to be a very, very tough proposition for Newcastle. PSG, we know Luis Enrique is building that team, from being very dominant and very reliant on like Messi, Mbappe, Neymar, to getting rid of Messi and Neymar. And now Mbappe looks like he's back integrated within the team, potentially building the team around Mbappe if he does stay. I think PSG, Luis Enrique, I think he's a very good coach. Obviously, he was linked with Chelsea last season. I think, like you said, if Newcastle do advance, I think it will be a fantastic achievement. But if they don't, I don't think it's good. Like you said, there's no pressure. I don't think they should feel hard done by. I don't think they should feel upset. You know, if they can even get into the Europa League, I think it will be a good achievement for them.
Yeah, that was gonna be my next point. I think if they can finish third and go to Europa League,
Yes.
there's no reason why they can't go and win that Europa League, you
I
know?
think they should try and finish third at the minimum. Like
Yeah.
third place should be the minimum. Like they should at least try to get into the Europa. I think they should give it a go. They should give it their best. Try to get second place. And if they can't, like at least try to make sure they get third place. That's what I would say for Newcastle.
Yeah.
It's a tough group,
Also,
but
it's not easy going to Dortmund and San
oh,
Siro. It's not
Signal
easy.
Iduna Park is no joke.
Yeah.
The yellow wall is that yellow submarine wall is just,
So
yeah.
I'm just looking forward to those fixtures, you know. Like it's just gonna be crazy games, you know, like Newcastle in the Champions League. It's just
It's just gonna
something
be
I never thought I would see. So, and especially coming up against these big teams, I'm sure Newcastle fans are gonna be enjoying this one.
yeah, the Geordies, the Toon Army are going to really relish the moment. I will
I
say that.
agree.
Anyway, people, we're gonna call it there. We're gonna wrap it up there. We're gonna wrap up episode 6 right there. Please don't forget to like the video, subscribe, comment, and we'll be back with a review next week once the fixtures have concluded. Until then, everyone, take care, look after yourselves. Peace.
Yeah.